of our supply chain analytics. Kind of we had divided, if you remember, to four different parts: sourcing of material, sourcing analytics, then production analytics. Last class we had discussed on the movement, right? Right, and that is where you have to calculate how many days it is taking per flight, where is delay, right? So a lot of complexities are also revolve around the how you manage different kind of optimization algorithm are available to reduce transportation cost, right? Transportation optimization, network optimization is a big field, right? Lot of companies just focus on those two areas. And once your presentation gets over, we'll come back and we'll focus at least 3 to 4 sessions on how to actually simulate those kind of transport optimization and network optimization, right? Again, without getting into the mathematical or the coding part, right? Just the simulation part. Today we are going to the last final phase of your supply chain, right? Again, so that is where the kind of a there is a intersection or intersect between your sales and marketing, right? Because this is also a marketing or sales domain. So I'll not get into the sales and marketing analytics, though I'll discuss few points toward the end. That itself is a separate course, marketing analytics, some of you might have taken, right? So but what I'll intend, how your inventory plays a role, right, in case of the final sales, right? And here mostly we'll be discussing on the retail inventory or the merchandising. Think about the Reliance Retail Big Bazaar of today's world, or if you think of Walmart in USA, right? How will you decide, or even the smaller grocery shop, how will they decide what kind of inventory they have to keep, what kind of product they have to keep, right? Accordingly they'll put an order to the distributor, right? Though obviously the grocery shop nearby you, if it is a small shop, they based on their experience, they know that okay, weekend is coming, so this kind of material, or the festival, some festival is coming, Holi is coming, Ganesh Puja, Saraswati Puja, these are the items will be much more required, right? Based on experience, they put that order to the distributor. But actually, when you get into a little bigger shop, right? Let's say Reliance or those kind of bigger retail shops, it won't be possible to based on your experience, right? You need to have some model, right? On what basis you carry out those kind of calculation? How do you optimize those kind of assortment? So the combination of SKUs is known as assortment. SKU is stock keeping unit, right? For each item we have a code, stock keeping unit, that we call. Today we'll discuss that, how it is important, how, why that, because till now I don't think we have put importance. Anytime we order something in Amazon or Flipkart, we just look into the price tag and tear it down and throw it away. Next time you just look into that and try to find out what kind of information you can get from those kind of numbers, right? And why that is important, right? Today we'll discuss those things. So again, like not interfering or not again kind of repeating what you might have covered on marketing analytics, that itself is a big course. We'll try to cover which is in our domain, right? Which is the common part of supply chain and selling, right? So this part, I guess already you know, and there are two types of model from sales and marketing side, but we are trying to think that what are the importance to supply chain, right? Because so that is the like kind of initial concept, push model of marketing, pull model of marketing, right? But how it is important for inventory, right? Think about stores, right? Think about a showroom, automobile showroom. So they do not keep all the products of Maruti or all the products of Honda. They have one or two like sample kind of automobile or the new automobiles which has come. People go there, check that and place a order. So where is your inventory hold? Maybe the distributor warehouse or in the company's warehouse. But when you say push, right? I have the product, people will come and see that and purchase, right? I am showing as many product, right? So it is not that they are going to put an order, and in case product is not available, obviously they'll say that I need this item. I need a packaged milk or this kind of milk with this kind of fat content and all those. Otherwise, what happens whenever you go to a Reliance Retail or Big Bazaar or those kind of outlets, product is there, product is being pushed to you, right? So where you are holding inventory, mostly it will be there itself, right? They even they have a warehouse, it is within that store, or maybe the in the basement or in the top kind of floor, but warehouse is nearby within integrated to the store itself, right? Customers orders are fulfilled by, obviously customers come to the showroom, sorry, to the store and buy kind of whatever items. Pool order. So what happens generally? What happens whenever you go to book a vehicle? So they'll give it. So they'll keep certain advance money, 10,000, 5,000, or 30,000, depending upon the automobile's cost. And later on, maybe 1 month, 3 months, depending upon the wait period, you will get that product delivered. Right? You might have to go to the complete the formalities to the showroom and buy that or bring your vehicle home. One key example in today's world, if I think about apart from your automobile showroom, think about the Amazon, Flipkart, all these kind of current or the new way of marketing, right? So what we do, we go to a virtual showroom, right? So there are products there, right? Virtual products, right? So what we select, and accordingly, depending upon what products are available, right? We select that, and sometimes it will take within same day delivery, sometimes maybe a week, sometimes more than that, right? So in today's world, those e-commerce itself has become a showroom model, right? So it is not that they're keeping, so it is a virtual site, right? It is just a cloud site, and warehouses can be anywhere, right? So for Amazon, Flipkart, see number of warehouses they might have across India, right? Then what are the differences between these two model in these 5 parameters? Shipping, how do you ship your products to these two type of model, right? So first discuss and take one example each so that understanding will be clear. Let us say this is Amazon or Maruti showroom, something like that. So how does shipping happens? You need expedited shipping to the customer, high shipping cost, right? Because it is not that uh, each customer will buy same thing, right? Different customers will have different requirement, different quantity. That product might not be nearby, available nearby the warehouses. It might come from, let's say you order a dress or a briefcase or a laptop bag, whatever you bought from your Amazon or Flipkart. If the first it will check which whether it is available nearby the warehouse, nearby warehouses to your location, or whichever you're the or like nearest warehouse, maybe in different state it might be, right? Then again, depending upon whether you are a prime customer or you are paying extra, your requirement is that you need earlier delivery. Shipments are expedited, right? Here, what happens? Shipping doesn't depend on actually customer requirement. There is a regular demand from the Reliance Retail or Big Bazaar each week or each day for certain product, maybe the vegetables and all those things, right? Each alternate day or each day, the products keep coming in like that. Inventory turnover happens. Some products may be weekly, some products may be monthly, right? It is not that clothes and all those things what they're selling, not necessarily every week they're changing, right? Inventory, significant inventory investment, high risk of obsolescence, right? So because say think about different product type, this kind of modern retail outlet they're keeping, right? Lot of investment in inventory, and today we'll discuss that how to calculate that cost, right? How much inventory cost you are having in your that store, right? Pool, obviously you need not have to keep that lot inventory, but again we are looking into where you are keeping it, right? If I take that example of a Maruti showroom, obviously that distributor is not keeping a lot of inventory. Whenever order comes, he sends that order to the plant or nearest company warehouse. Then from that he gets that inventory. But again, if I look about e-commerce, not necessarily inventory is less, but what they do is they intelligently or predict what kind of, like we have discussed earlier also, right? They have a lot of influence on customer behavior. So that is where their inventory obsolescence is less. So they try to keep the product which is in demand, right? So that is something which is due to analytics, due to different type of algorithm they use. It is not that 100% perfect, but to a great extent they can predict and accordingly they can store inventory, right? Here it is little bit difficult, though today's discussion will put on those aspects. Warehousing, batch picking, packing, lower order fulfillment cost, right? So basically, let's say crate of milk or not a crate of milk, a few crates of milk, a few crates of fruits or whatever, right? So on batch, it is not that you'll order one or two, right? Here, what happens? Customer, there is no minimum order quantity, right? Customer can order. So obviously, if they are agreeing to pay the shipping cost, customer, so I can order half kg of fruit for some amount of fruit. Accordingly, you have to give me that, right? and basically you have to kind of shipping and all those things cost to be managed. Customer service, customer don't have to wait. Obviously that is the best part, because somebody who goes to a store, if they are going to store, they're still waiting. So you are the like kind of worst kind of customer service, right? The idea of somebody going to a store and buying something in today's world is it is urgent, right? Otherwise, anything you want, you can get it at home, right? If we want something, unless we are very kind of biased towards online shopping, or we have a very bad experience in online shopping, most of us, even our parents, grandparents, have been like getting acquainted with e-commerce, right? But here obviously customers have to wait. Today obviously like companies like Big Basket and other companies who have come, or even the GeoMart and all those things, right, who are claiming delivery within 2 hours or 3 hours, right? But at least certain amount of, even those 2 hours, 3 hours, somebody has to wait, right? There if you go, most of the times, even in stores also, sometimes you have to wait for half an hour or 1 hour to check out. But generally it will be less than, comparatively it will be less than the full model. Normally if you look into e-commerce, delivery time is 3 to 4 days within 1 week. Here, within the same day, if you buy electronic item, refrigerator or air conditioner, right, within that same day, within 2 or 3 hours of your purchase, you will get those product delivered. New product launch, need to sell remaining inventory in the channel before launching new product, right? So this is a critical aspect where lot of fight, lot of conflicts happen between FMCG companies or any company who are selling their products through these modern retail outlets, right? Think about a scenario: you are from HUL or PNG, lot of products are there already in those stores, right? And you are starting to launch a new product. Their store space is limited, so it is not that they are only going to keep your product. So what that guy is going to tell, okay, so these are certain product from, or certain kind of items from your brand which are not getting sold, take this back, then only I'll keep your new product. Or wait, when those product will get sold, then only I'll keep your new products in the shelf, because shelf space is costly, right? But here what happens, like I said, they are very good, at least the e-commerce site. It is only when the demand comes, they go and accordingly order those items. Apart from some items which are regular, they have good predictive capability. That's why the inventory kind of movement is very fast. New product launch, and there is no space, right? If I want to show something on a website, how it is just about the bandwidth, and today most of us do not have a problem with bandwidth, right? We can scroll up to like good quality pictures and a lot of pages we can scroll, right? And that is where the difficulty happens. If I want to buy something in online, I can go to a lot of pages, I can go into like review section, everything I can read, and information is easily available to me. But going to a store, I'll not have access to all the product information. That is one big difference between what you call it as information asymmetry, right? The most like popularity of e-commerce, if you see, more than the price, though people say that because they started discount, give discount, a lot of discount, and that's why they took a market. But if you actually see, that was the big difference. Information, how much information you are getting on internet when you purchase on e-commerce, right? Same information you will not able to get. You gather information on internet, then you go to a store. But going to a store, if you start asking everything about a competitor product, nobody is going to sell a product. They're not going to put that much effort or time on a single customer, right? And that is where the information asymmetry plays a big role. Any questions on this? Okay, so these are the two kind of aspects we are going to discuss. Most of our like kind of discussion point will be on the assortment planning. Towards the end, maybe 2 slides I'll show about pricing and promotion analytics, but we'll not get into that, right? But like I said, my objective here is to limit my discussion is only into the supply chain kind of part. Though in the sales, that is also a big factor, pricing and product analytics. That I'm not going to cover, but I'll show you like some aspects of pricing and product analytics. So, so what kind of, again, if I go into that ladder of different type of analytics, descriptive will be so kind of a dashboard. Every company, so it is not that they have to create every day. There is a kind of trial and tested dashboard available. Most of the companies, all these modern retail outlet. So every day in the evening or maybe every week, so they'll be getting those report out saying that okay, what are the product we sold in this day, previous day, what we are planning to sell next day, and on the overall last week, how much we like value wise, how much we sold, what are the products are still remaining unsold. So those kind of descriptive, right, visualization they can. So this is mostly onto the data visualization part, right? We are trying to understand the data and trying to get certain insights of it. Diagnostic, how does weather affect sales, right? So we have previous data, we know that if rainy season happens, this is winter, if suddenly rain happens, nobody is going coming to come our store. Even the normal days, if rain happens, nobody is going to come to our store. If there is a let's say rain is not there, but weather is very kind of uh, uh, cloudy, right? So rain is not there, but cloudy, right? People might not venture out, right? So that will affect your sales, right? And here mainly our focus is on those retail physical stores, not on the e-commerce side. E-commerce, it doesn't matter, right? You are at home, obviously. These outside events won't affect your purchase behavior most of the times. Predictive, obviously, lot of information, we have different parameters we are collecting. Let's say we launched a new advertisement, and we have seen that whenever we have given those kind of advertisement, how much sales are happening. Again, you can look into different aspect. It is not necessarily a kind of a retail only. You can look into the food business also, right? Think about a hotel or a small cloud kitchen which has come up, right? So based on the discount they are providing in Zomato and Swiggy, they have to kind of anticipate how much each item, how in that menu, let's say 100 and 150 items, what kind of raw material, how much they should cook, how much they should remain like kind of in that nearby like stores, right? So that whenever the order comes and they can deliver quickly, right? So a lot of predictions happens, right? Even for those food business, though like kind of smaller companies, smaller stores won't be doing certain kind of Excel modeling or big data modeling, but the outlets like MACD, Burger King, they have inbuilt software or algorithm which runs behind, right? So they can predict. So once they run for 6 months or 3 months, they have enough data to calculate what kind of items when they'll be selling, right? Then prescriptive means if I have different options, if I have different, let's say, strategy, right? Which I cannot parallelly run all those 50 or 30 or 10 strategies, right? Which strategy I should implement, right? Accordingly, I'll go by that kind of strategy, sales strategy and inventory strategy, right? Prescriptive, like we discussed, prescriptive simply means if you go to a doctor, doctor analyzes your symptom and says that, okay, he is going to prescribe you something, right, based on your symptoms, and that is his best case, right? If it doesn't work, then he will carry out certain test again, he will prescribe you something. Prescriptive analytics also works in that way. If you have, let's say, we look into the symptoms, what is happening, past data, these are the symptoms, then out of that we have 4 or 5 options, right? So based on our experience, based on that algorithm or whatever it tells, will tell that okay, go by this. Take, let's say we have 4 or 5 different type of options. 10% discount on close item. Let's say Mantra sales are happening for Republic Day or the next whatever event is coming up. 25% discount. Or buy one, the first one in the purchase item, second item 50% discount. Third type of strategy can be buy if you purchase above 2000 rupees, you'll get a some free item of 200 worth. Or let's say there is a kind of your no interest EMI. So like that, I can have 10 different type of offers. Which one I should put? I cannot parallel put everything, right? I will make a huge loss. Which one I should put, right? So that is where your prescriptive analytics will matter, right? So assortment means a combination of SKU, right? I hope all of you know what does a SKU mean, stock keeping unit, right? So we start with the SKU rationalization process, right? At any point of time, there can be 50,000 to 1 lakh or more than that many SKUs in a modern retail outlet, right? Few lakhs of SKUs, right? different units what they're selling. How do you make a good combination of it? Which item they should keep? Because store space is not kind of unlimited, right? So again, remember we are looking into the physical outlets, right? If we are talking about e-commerce side, that time we have to discuss something else. How to make a good offer, what kind of collaborative filtering or market basket analysis they have to do. Here, our main focus on those physical stores where inventory is a big headache, right? So they cannot keep everything. Then for each SKU, so you manage them some on those strategy side, financial side, customer experience expectations. You know that this SKU is not giving you much profit, but you know that some customers are looking for that item. If so, it will reduce your customer service level if you stop selling those items, right? So it is not only about the profit. Sometimes it is also about looking into the big picture, because there will be certain, let's say you are selling certain candies, right? You know that it is not selling that big, very few times people come to buy, but you know that parents, when they bring their children, so they will be lured, or they will be like asking for those candies, and that is where you can sell other items, cross sell and upsell other items also nearby, because once a child gets into a shop, it is good benefit for a shopkeeper. They will try to grab everything, right? So there are a lot of strategies, right? And that's why if you see all those chocolate and all those things will be your nearby kind of store counters, like where the checking out happens, right? So if somebody has gone with a child 5 to 10 years old or less than that, definitely they are going to grab something. Assortment optimization. So you start with the rationalization process, then you look into different productivity angles, not only productivity in terms of financial, you have to look into the other areas also, strategy, customer like satisfaction, right? Then you try to optimize, right? So you try to say that okay, for this store, for this next month or for this week, what combination of items I should keep, right? What kind of SKUs will give me a proper assortment, right? Proper combination of SKUs which will make my store to make good sales and make good profit or margins, right? So the planning process in retail is basically selecting the product a retailer want to sell during a particular period to maximize profitability, your margin, sales, revenue, all those things, right? In it means that retailers decide what merchandise they should buy and market to their customers, right? Think about this clothes store, right? Pantaloons and all those things, right? What kind of clothes they should keep for this winter? Winter next, right now, winter maybe within 15 days or 30 days, the temperature will start to rise. So in the last 10, 15 or 30 days, what kind of items they'll try to sell, right? Because once this winter season or the cold season is over, they will not get sold for another 1 year, right? What kind of factors will take into consideration, right? So price point, obviously, shelf life. So if clothes are there, you know that it might, you can sell again the same clothes in the next year, but where to store it? Category proportions, what kind of winter clothes and normal clothes you have to keep, right? Because now gradually people will start to like kind of not buy this kind of winter clothes, because even somebody wants now, they will not buy it for next 10 or 15 days, right? Width and depth in the, so here we are talking about the product portfolio, product width and product category depth. Visual merchandising, right? Sometimes it is important to so keep certain pieces which will attract customers, right? If you always keep those dull looking colors and all those things, right? So look, think about whenever you are visiting a mall and looking into those clothing stores, think about how, and if obviously now COVID is happening, maybe you not may not be visiting that often, but earlier if you anytime have gone and noticed, each day they try to change the different clothing those mannequins have it, right? Because it changes the look of the store, right? So that is where people look, and then only they come to that merchandising store, right? That bag looks nice, or that cloth or that shirt or that jacket looks nice. Store layout, if you are in a costly place, you have a less space. Layout, some layouts you cannot change also, right? So that also will depend what kind of things you can keep, right? Promotions, what kind of promotions are going on. Sometimes promotions might be from the brand itself, right? You might not have control on that. Then that time customers will come and look out for those kind of products, right? Growth goals as a company, what uh, kind of achievement you want to get within next 3 months or 6 months. Reorder point, certain reorder points are a fix. Every week order will go and then the merchandise will come. Certain depending upon the requirement, right? So what kind of inventory policy you have, what kind of contract you have with your suppliers, right? So for these kind of pantaloons and all those things, whichever those clothing, there will be lot of clothing suppliers, different brands, right? So they will have purchase order placed, right? Okay, we'll supply this kind of means once you have a requisition, we'll send within 7 days or 3 days. So all these things you should keep in mind. Lead time. So that is where the lead time comes into picture. Reorder point, the at how much at what quantity now you will go and order. Though it is the reorder point, it is not in time, it is on terms of how much quantity you will have left, then only you will go and order. Let's say I have winter jackets from a certain brand, 10. Next week I have 7, right? Shall I order next week or shall I order now, right? Because if the lead time is 15 days or 21 days, by the time it comes, obviously right now you can have to look into by 21 days whether somebody will buy that winter clothes or not, right? So those kind of things will impact the decision for your what kind of SKUs, combination of SKUs you are keeping. Simplify supply chain using SKU rationalization, select product categories, identify market segment. This part, most of the times it is already done, unless you are doing it first time. This part of for different categories, for different market segment, what kind of product categories it will be already there database. Make a list of strategic product. These things might change because it is not that the same products will remain. Strategic means which bring value to you, which brings more profit to you, which brings more customer satisfaction to you, right? And it will change, right? 2 year back when COVID happened, one of the key, because fear affected us so much, availability of sanitizer, availability of mask, availability of this, all those equipment or kind of these kind of things were much more important to us, right? That time if it is not available, customer satisfaction will be down. Now we do not bother that much. Maybe another 1 year 2 year down the line, nobody will bother if you do not have a sanitizer. But that time just think about the demand. So that time those products will become strategic. Sometimes we won't have control on those which products become strategic. Review all other SKUs. So strategic, again, that 80-20 rule always most of the times applies. 20 percentage of the SKUs which bring around 70 to not necessarily 80 percentage, but even if they're bringing 65 to 70 percentage of your revenue profit, then those are your strategic SKUs, right? Sometimes it is a customer requirement also. Maybe they are not bringing much profit or much revenue, but customers are coming only for those items. There was a time when people used to go to Reliance and those stores because sanitizers was not available. So they will go, then if sanitizers are available, they're buying other items also, right? Eliminate unnecessary SKUs. And this is a periodic review because, like I said, some SKU which was very important at certain point of time maybe won't be important in the next month, right? So you have to keep updating the items, right? And some have seasonal patterns, right? Your now summer season is coming in electronic store and all those stores. The sale of air conditioners will increase, refrigerators will increase, so they have to plan for that. 4 months down the line, when your rainy season comes, sale will be little down. That time, these kind of shops again have to focus on items required for rainy season. Maybe the clothes, all those items. Then winter, right? So it is sometimes the seasonal impact also is there, right? So this is again typical dashboard where you will have a overall view. The management can see that who are the customers, what are the average sales, uh, customer revenue, different region wise also I can select, different product, right? Product category also I can select. So that basically I have a one single point of kind of page where I can have the visualization of all the stock keeping unit, right? And any questions on this? So this is I was talking about, right? Anytime you have bought something or online or offline, right? So in the price tag there will be number written, right? We don't generally give importance to that, but that is very important for a retailers, right? Because you cannot like just track by the brand name, size. See how much information for a cloth, gender, right? Then category, type, size, color. I can add many more things also, right? Normally these are the minimum things we should be there, right? So let's say for a tagline is M024LBU008, right? So what does it mean? M for male, 024 may be some number, then L may be large, B may be, here it is not, PU means blue, right? Then under that 008, right? 24 may be the some your or maybe the here 02, right? Turns, right? So basically depending upon uh, what you are writing there, right? Now, whatever that printed on that price tag or on that invoice, right? That is a lot of importance to that retailer, right? Because they are not tracking by the visual inspection, right? They're tracking by when the sales happens. Now they know that okay, this was of 8 quantity or 10 quantity. Within 3 days, six has been sold. Now we have a three quantity left, right? So without getting into the visual inspection in the point of sale data, they can have the complete inventory analysis, right? And that is where the coding is. So when I say coding, not that software coding, here when like kind of getting that information built in that or printed on those kind of items, SKUs, right? So this is again for a girl's casual shirt, small blue may have this SKU, right? Then again I can encoding brand, different like let's say same thing is being sold in pantaloons. Levi's may be X01, Wrangler X02, your Lee jeans may be X03, right? Then depending upon my store locations, same Reliance retail may be in Bhubaneswar or Bhubaneswar Cuttack, there are 4 Reliance retail or 10 Reliance retail. So I can store name the store location also S01, S02, S03. How much granularity of data I require, right? And this has to happen in the beginning because I cannot change the system once. I can include some additional data, but overall if I change it will have a lot of labels, tags. I have to tear it down again, put it again. So it will be very difficult. Addition of data again for a new item, new product has come, we can do that. But changing, just imagine a scenario. Reliance Retail SKU coding already has been finalized, labels have gone, and accordingly, those are put on those products. Suddenly there is a mistake. How much difficult it will be, right? So this has to be done carefully, looking into the future also, right? What number you are putting, what information you are putting on those products. Sometimes it's not with that big number that it is not able to print properly, right? So you have to take a lot of care. Those retailers do take a lot of care, which we do not generally realize how much information is available in those numbers, which is printed on those price tags. Imagine a scenario if somebody gives two data of analyzing. Today I will give you the Flipkart data. You'll come to know that how much information is available, right, in those numbers, right? And any questions in this? So then, what kind of assortment? How now you'll optimize your assortment combination of SKUs, right? So there are different type of analysis which happens. One type is called as gross margin return on inventory (GMROI), right? For the inventory available, inventory sold, how much gross margin I am gaining, right? Gross margin is basically your sales minus cost of goods sold, right? Basically, how much gross profit I'm making. Then category price point analysis, right? Each category wise, how much revenue I'm making. Each SKU wise, how much revenue I'm making. I'll show you some certain examples for both the calculation. Customer satisfaction, right? Like I said, sometimes it is not only about the profit part. Sometimes you have to look into what items, though it is giving me very less profit, but customers will come for that. Think about rice and dal, all those items. There might be the margin the this kind of retailers are getting might be small, but they know that whenever a customer is coming in the month end grocery or weekly grocery, they look for that item. If it is not there, they might not come to my store. If I do not keep price, tall, wheat, all those items, they will go to a store which keep those items, right? Because they are not going to go multiple stores to buy all of this, right? Then order fulfillment. So this is from my supplier side, right? Some brand they will delay daily to fulfill your order. So I have to look into whether I should keep those SKUs or items or not, right? Because customers are subsequently coming for those products, but my supplier is not providing me that, right? Then I have to think in that way, right? So this is on the sales side. Inventory side, I have to look into the initial fill rate, right? First time, anytime I put a order, most of the time supplier do not give a complete kind of 100% delivery, right? Let's say I ordered that pantaloon, I ordered 100 different jeans from Lee, but again order will be coming from different stores across India to those company, right? So initial fill rate in the first time, in the first shipment, how much percentage they are able to fill. Let's say I order 100 quantity of different Lee jeans for my store, and I got 80. Again, whatever I had required, 80, 20 has not been delivered. It will be on the second shipment. So 80 by 100, that 80% will become my initial fill rate from that supplier. So I look into initial fill rate. If somewhere it is 20%, you order for 100, you are getting only 20. So you have to look into the relationship. You have to look into whether you will keep those kind of brand with you, or you keep selling those branded products from your store. On time delivery, again, that is shipment, whatever contract says, purchase order says, whether they're able to deliver within that time or not. Number of shipments to complete orders. Initial fill rate is 80, but to deliver next 20 jeans, they took another 4 shipments. That itself is bad, right? Customer returns. Same product is being sold like a hotcake, but there are a lot of returns. Sizing fit is not there, so there is a huge line in the return section, right? So that is also have to track. Back orders, if you remember, you did that analysis. There is a supplier kind of customer demand, supplier is able to meet or not, right? You do not have that inventory in your location. Then cancellations, right? Mostly it is for the order online shopping. When you talk about people like ordered, but either during shipment or once it reaches the customer, they have cancelled the order. Then you have to look into the reverse inventory, how it will get back to the warehouse, right? So that is where we try to calculate something called open to buy or OTB calculation, right? So if some of you have taken retail management, all these concepts might have been covered or will be covered in detail. But again, it is important from the supply chain side also, because OTB is nothing but depending upon the inventory you have, depending upon how much sales you are planning, how much you are giving order to a supplier, how much you are going to purchase, right? Square inch analysis, right? So the idea is, if I have a physical store, every square inch of my store is getting me certain value, right? Nothing, no space is wasted, right? Everything, every inch of my store space is, and like so when I say analysis, it's not that you are doing carrying out analysis. The idea is nothing is wasted. You are getting value of all the store space available, right? So that is where your store outlet, though it will not be in our purview, the store designers, how do they design, how to keep the shelves, right? So that you have to be physically there, how much creatively you are able to keep those items, right? So that is lot to do with the sales and marketing part, right? How you show those products. Retail management, if some of you have taken, will be covered in those course, right? Then if I have a square inch analysis for physical stores, what about e-commerce, right? Anybody knows what to like kind of similar kind of, if I talk about square inch analysis for a website, what will be that? Any idea? So for e-commerce site, the space is not that difficult, right? So I can put lakhs, millions of product. But again, I don't want customer to get lost. If somebody comes to search a product, he's not able to. So that is where the keyword matching. Your website should be so robust. Somebody looking for certain product, he or she will be able to find it easily, because that is space is not a constraint. Constraint is whether I have a proper algorithm, proper kind of teach search like string match algorithm. Whatever they search, they are able to find it within very few clicks, right? Otherwise, what will happen? They will be searching, they will not be finding, and they'll go out because there is no one to ask that whether you have this item or not, right? In a physical retail, in a physical store, it happens. If I'm not able to find something, I'll go and ask somebody. But here it is not possible. So that is where our intention or our focus will be little different. So just to discuss on gross margin return on inventory. So I first find out my gross margin, my total sales minus cost of goods sold, right? Then average inventory cost, right? Again, I should not do it for product wise or the overall sales wise. I should do it for each product category, right? So that will give me better information or insight, so that I can say that for this product or this brand, I have a good gross margin return on inventory. For these brands, I have a very less or low gross margin return on inventory, right? Uh, so this is where on overall also can do, but generally it is done on product category or brand wise, right? Uh, so it will help us to, if we are able to maintain my good gross margin return on inventory. So it will keep less overstock. That means I'm not keeping unnecessary inventory. Better margin, then more profit, right? Obviously, my margin will improve. So again, this I've taken something from the internet. Which department is best? If I give you this question, there are four department, or let's say think about four different pantaloon stores, right? These are the different sales, monthly sales or yearly sales in those stores. Gross margin is this much for different stores. Which store I should, which pantaloon store or which clothing store is doing very well? Which one do you think?
Sir, Department D.
Why?
So because if you look at the average inventory cost, then it is only $33.7 and with a gross margin of 42%. But in case of Department E, the margin is higher, but along with it, the inventory cost is also going higher.
Correct. So basically, you have to do certain calculation, but again, do not jump into the answer, right? Uh, Depending upon what is the parameter, right? If somebody says sales is my parameter, right? Think about all these products, all these stores are equal size and everything is same, right? Almost same, right? If sales is my parameter, obviously department A is doing great. If gross margin is kind of my kind of parameter of choice, maybe the department C is doing great. So because they are getting selling this much and having a gross margin of 48%. Inventory cost I want to keep low, then department D is doing great, right? So that is where gross margin return on inventory helps you, because it takes two factors together, gross margin and inventory, right? But even then, like, you have to remember, if this kind of question comes, so you have to check that on which parameter you are asking the question, right? If parameter is not mentioned, then you have to reply like that. If sales is my parameter, then obviously department A, assuming all these are similar size and everything remains same, right? Because if it is a small store and doing this much, I cannot compare. So the assumption is that all these four are of similar store and similar capacity, right? So this calculation is little better than these two separately, right? Because it is taking both of them together. So I'll calculate first my gross margin, 3,150,400 multiplied by 0.46, 46% of that, divided by 1,02,400. So it gives a gross margin return on inventory. For $1 of inventory, I'm getting a gross margin of $1.39, right? But here, if you see $2.32, right? So which is very good, right? So if all the department sizes, location, all other parameters remain same, so that means all other parameters remains equal. On basis of sales, department A is doing excellent. On basis of GMROI, department D is doing excellent, right? So depending upon what is for a inventory or for a supply chain operations person, for me GMROI is big one. But for a salesperson or a marketing person, they will be looking into this much sales and gross margin, right? And that is somewhere the conflict comes, right? Because they will be looking into the sales. Okay, sales is excellent. We'll try to like kind of reduce discount and we'll improve our gross margin, or we'll find some store space, which is not actually possible. Store space is limited. So you have to look these numbers into different kind of consideration also. Because imagine if a store size is same, why this sales is less, right? So depending upon what parameter you are considering, you have to look into try to give different answers, right? But yes, if I look into GMROI, department D is the best. If I look into gross margin, department C is the best. If I look into average inventory cost, again D is the best. If I look into only the sales, department A is the best. Okay. Any question? I hope this calculation is very simple and clear. Any doubt on this? Then category price point analysis. So today's kind of your um, assignment is basically this: how to like kind of conduct a category price point analysis, right? So let's say whichever store they're selling a something like Reliance Retail or Big Bazaar, they're selling different items, right? These are different categories. So I have to look into under let's say kitchen category. There are different price points, right? Different items are there. So $0 to $0, obviously there will be nothing like $0, but less than let's say $10, right? So there are 8 kitchen items, right? So this is a matrix which you will be able to create, which will give a detailed visualization, right? Somebody wants to understand. So if I look into just column wise, so total kitchen sales has happened in that particular week or particular let's say month, $38,750, which is total sales 18.5%, right? So now if I look into all these numbers, what information I'll get? So out of all these, so these decor items, room decor items, and your outdoor items, right? These are the two most important categories for me, followed by the kitchen item, right? Which are again close to almost 20%, 18.5%. So these are the three top categories which are products are being sold. I should focus on them. Then if I look into the price point wise, which are the price point, and that will help me to understand who are my bigger customers, premium end customers, or middle kind of income group customers, or the lower income group customers, right? Depending upon what kind of items they are buying, right? So if you look into the pricing point only, irrespective of my what kind of item, what kind of category I'm selling. So this is the price category $30 to $49.99, where my total number of SKU is 27.1%, and they are giving me around 31% sales, which is obviously is a big kind of component for overall my sale item. So out of all the categories, items in this product category, $30 to $49, so between $30 to $50, they are the maximum sold items, right? Irrespective of category, right? So this helps us to at least have a visualization, have an understanding, descriptive understanding about which categories are being sold, which categories are important to for my store, and which price point. So those irrespective of categories, at which price point people are buying those products, right? So in this particular case, if you see, where is this? So this is 27.1% followed by this one. So these two are almost covering 50% of your. So this price range $20 to $50 is covering almost your 50% of your sales, 50% of your SKUs, right? So this is something helps us to understand our SKUs, understand our categories, understand our price part, right? Is this clear, or any doubt on the calculation? Simply they are just adding total number of SKU is 280. So if they add number of SKU is 76, 76 by 280 will become 27.1%. Similarly, they are adding the total sales. Obviously, sales I have not given you individually. Then divided by the total sales amount. Total sales amount is $2,10,000. So let's say this $30 to $49.99 total sales are happening $65,000. $65,000 divided by $2,10,000. So that will give you around 31%, right? So that is how it has been calculated. Any questions or doubt on this? So before I proceed further, I just wanted to show the kind of file I have given you for today. So this is Flipkart sales. So see the ID of those product, right? None of us will be able to understand, but that person who have given this kind of ID, right? SKU ID, they only able to understand, right? Only numbers and letters, right? Product name, but lot of information will be available here. Somebody who has created this code for that SKU, they will know that okay, what does this number means, right? Then retail price, discounted price, whether it is a FK advantage, Flipkart advantage product. Then product rating. So what is the average rating customers are given for those kind of product, right? And the brand, right? So what I've asked you here to carry out the same price, and obviously here category is not there, but I have asked you to rating analysis because ratings are available. Either rating is not there or 5, 4, 3, whatever different rating is given. So you have to, from that information, you have to create a simple table, right? So you know what kind of function you have to use. So price range between 0 to 1000, how many products have no ratings, how many products with rating between 1 to 2.5, 2.6 to 3.5, and 3.6 to 5. Similarly, this number, so this is basically number of items, right? Then that is percentage total SKU. Then you have to find out what is the total sales value of those items, right? Then percentage of total sales. So what it will say, there are, let's say total is 1 crore or 10 crore total worth of product, right? So there are 5 lakh products which has been sold which have no rating, right? There are 50 lakh product who have a rating of 50 lakh worth of sales has happened for product who have a rating of 1 to 2.5. There are 5 crore product worth of sales has happened for which rating is 3.6 to 5, right? Then here you can give how many, similarly how many SKUs are there. So total SKUs, whatever, if I go to the number of SKUs is around 19,977 SKUs is there. Again, you have to look into the unique SKUs number, right? It might get repeated also. How many total product or SKUs are there between 0 to 1000, and what is the percentage of it, right? Whether they are 5%, 2%, 3%, what is the sales value, and what is the percentage of total sales, right? Is this part clear or any doubt on this? Any questions on this? Same
Then
thing
we
like,
have to find out whether what are the top categories and according to the pricing, what is the most selling product, something
yeah,
like
so
that. Or
like here it is category is there, their category is not there, rating is there, right? Otherwise everything remains same. So in this case, the category kitchen, decor, lighting, all these things there, because in that case category was not there. I have asked you to do rating those products. So in this case, what you are doing? So at the end, you are calculating how many SKUs are there in kitchen. So total 53, right? You are adding this up 53. So what is the percentage of total SKUs? 53 divided by 280. So total number of SKUs, total number of units being sold from that store is 280. So 53 divided by 280, so 18.9 percentage, right? Then total sales value, this is given here. There the price is given, so selling price is given. So if you add them up, you'll get the total sales value. So total sales value for kitchen items here is $38,750. Total sales value of all the items combined is $210,000. If I divide 38,750 by 210,000, I'll get 18.5%. So what does this implies is, of all the categories, kitchen items are taking around 19% of SKUs, total 280 items. Out of that, 18 or 19% of SKUs belong to kitchen items, and they are giving almost same 18.5% of my revenue or sales, right? If I look into the price point wise, is within $10, so it is 16.8 percentage of total SKUs belong to less than $10 product, because 47, there are 47 product, 47 by 280. Total sales value is coming around $18,500. So that is almost 8.8 percentage. So how will I interpret it? So of all the SKUs, there are 17 or 16.8 percentage SKUs are less than $10, and they're bringing me total 8.8 percentage of my sales revenue. Same thing there also you have to do, but there is no category. I have given you the rating part. Those product without any rating or rating up to 2.5, from 2.6 to 3.5, then 3.6 to 5. Right? Is it clear, or any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Then this is important. Open to buy, everybody, like every retailers have to do, because they have to plan for the next month or next 6 months, right? So once you know that, okay, what optimized combination of SKUs, now you have to say how much order you have to put to your suppliers, because once you put that order, weekly order or monthly order, your items will come. Let's say pantaloons, so by the, say, this month end, or maybe by this Friday, so they have to send a order to different clothing brands, saying that how much quantity of item they should send, right? So how will you calculate that? What is my planned sales for, let's say, February, right? And planned markdown is basically you have bought certain items, right? Markdown means below that you are going to sell those items, right? Below the price point, let's say you had put that price tag of $200 or 2000 rupees for a shirt, then you are reducing, you know that that shirt has not been sold for last 3 months, so you are marking down the price, so you are sell it at 1800 or 1700. So that is the price markdown which you have anticipating for the next month. Let's say winter clothes, right now you know that you have to give 40% or 50% of discount, right? Then only some people might buy that, right? So that will be the planned markdowns, right? How much inventory you are going to kind of reduce the price. Then planned end of month inventory. By February end, what is your plan, that how much inventory you should be there, right? Planned beginning month of inventory, that will come to know anyhow by the January month end, right? Then open to receive. Some items which are on transit, right? It is coming, you will receive that within a day, because it is not that, so you might have put a order a week back for certain items. So certain items which are open to receive, which are in transit. So planned sales plus planned markdown, end of month inventory minus beginning month of inventory minus open to receive, that will give us open to buy retail. Rather than remembering the formula, try to understand it. What we are calculating? We are calculating how much we have to buy for next month. So how will I decide that? Sorry, how much actual sales will happen? Because actual sales, when that happens, then only I'll come to know. Only I have planned sales, right? Out of that, I'll come to this planned markdown. So what is my inventory in the month end of January and what I'm planning in month end of February, right? That difference is already there. That is already, I know that I'll be able to sell. Let's say by January end, I'll have planning to have 1 crore of inventory in my store, right? And by February end, 80 lakhs. That means my assumption is that if I have 1 crore worth of inventory by January end, and I'm assuming that by February end it should be 80 lakhs. Let's say no sales, nothing, like no order happening. So that means I'll 20 lakh inventory will be sold. That is my assumption, because by month end inventory of January is 1 crore. Month end inventory of February I'm planning for 80 lakhs. That means I'm assuming 20 lakhs kind of inventory will be gone, right? Then what is my planned sales? Let's say for next month I will have a planned sales of whatever, uh, 10 lakh, 15 lakhs or 5 lakhs. That has to come, right? That has to be replenished, right? Because if I'm trying to keep 80, it cannot go below 80. So that anyhow I have to buy, right? Then planned markdown. whatever inventory I'm thinking, if I mark down the price, that will get sold. That item also have to get replenished, right? Remember that what we told, square inch analysis. I should not have space lying empty. That doesn't mean that I'll fill up my store that there is no working space, but whatever. So empty store is always very dangerous. If somebody comes and looks into empty store, they'll assume that it is going out of business, right? So let's say I am to plan for these 6 months, October to March, right? Planned beginning month inventory is $30,000. I am planning a sales of 15,000, right? In the next month, I am planning a sales of 15,000. Markdown is $350. That means, or whatever inventory I have, I'll reduce the price by $350 for certain inventory, not all inventory. Certain inventory which I think after a few months nobody will buy. Let's say winter clothes or winter jackets. I'll reduce some prices by $350. Then planned end month of inventory, that is on the October end. So this is October beginning, this is October end, $25,000. Then what will be my planned open to buy dollars, right? What is my planned sales? $15,000 here. Markdown is 350. So 15,000 plus 350, 15,350. Difference of end of month inventory and beginning month inventory. End month inventory is $25,000 and beginning month inventory is 30,000. 25 minus 30,000, that is minus 5,000, right? So that minus 5,000 plus 15,350, that will give me $10,350 worth value of items or inventory I have to purchase. So that is open to buy. That much I am open to buy this month, October month. Like that, now I can calculate for. Obviously, I need to get data of this information I should be available with me. So similarly, November month. So whatever my end of month inventory of my October, that is the beginning inventory of November. Then for November, I am planning a end of November inventory is $20,000. So again, I'll calculate that 20,000 minus 25,000 minus 5,000 plus 15,000 plus. So this is again planned markdown, right? $500. So that is $10,500. So here we do not have open to receive. We are assuming nothing in transit. So there is no items or no inventory which is in transit, right? Otherwise, if it is that, then that also you have to deduct. So, any questions on this? So every retailer will have an automated system. It is impossible to calculate, do it manually. Most of them are doing it through ERP system, through kind of store like management system. So they will just put the order. So last week of the month when the order has to go, so they will calculate this and order. So, but imagine the complexity. You're doing it for different product categories also, right? It is not helpful that if I say that, okay, I have to buy 1 crore worth of merchandise or inventory for my store. I have to put, when I say when I have to put order, so it has to go different product, different brand wise also, right? Is this clear?
Sir, how to decide on about the planned markdown that $350 would
So
be the
that
markdown for the October
correct.
month?
So that generally comes from the sales and marketing team, right? So also towards the end, pricing and markup setup. So depending upon, so that is where the supply chain persons won't play a role. So the sales people will say that, okay, let us reduce by the company policy that let's say reduce by 10%. For these are the winter jackets, $3,000. We have to reduce the price. We have to change the price tag and reduce by 10%. That has come from the marketing team. So 3,000 10% is $300. So that information will come from the sales or marketing team. Or let's say reduce by
Yes,
40%, then markdown itself will become $1,200.
yes, sir. And sir, how sir make to order is differentiated from open to buy?
Make to order is basically it is a production planning, right? It is nothing to the purchase policy. This is a purchase policy. Make to order is basically when the like kind of let's say uh, you are a BHEL or let's say General Electric, right? So you are designing wind turbines or you are designing let's say power transformers, right? So some items which you are kind of already ready made, you kind of produce it, so kind of manufacture it and you store it. Some items will be like kind of depending upon the customer's requirement, customizations, right? Those will be made to order. So that means whenever the order comes, right? Whenever the requisition comes, the purchase order comes, then only the production will happen, because they are not customized product. Think about Harley Davidson, right? Some of the bikes, they have customization option. So one way customer can buy, they can go and order from the stores. Same product which is available, no customization. But once you do the customization, they become make to order. So that you are the like kind of company will wait for your customization, then only they'll, obviously it is not that everything will be manufactured assembled, right? So in that case actual manufacturing doesn't happen, but the assembly happens. But in some cases complete manufacturing happens, right? Wind turbines, right? If let's say I give a order of this type of wind turbine, this design, this blade length, width and all those things, depending upon my specifications, they will kind of manufacture it. So two simple differences: make to order is a production planning activity, open to buy is a inventory policy or maybe the purchase policy activity, purchase manager's activity.
Yes, sir.
So so second part is again like not a supply chain manager's purview, mostly a, but if you are a retail manager, if you are joining a retail company like Reliance Retail, sometimes you have to play both, right? uh, partial role of a operations manager, partial roles of a marketing manager also, right? So few definitions you have to understand. When a supplier price whatever you are selling, let's say Pantaloon is buying clothes from different suppliers, right? You are billing that supplier certain amount, let's say 1,000 rupees jeans or 800 rupee jeans. Total whatever on that you put, right, in your price tag, right? So that becomes your markup. That 800 you are buying, uh, think about all those clothes you buy from Myntra and all those things. So which is looking like 2,000 or 5,000 and they're selling you, telling you they're giving 40% discount. What they generally do, they're buying at 300 rupees, 200 rupees certain product. They'll put a markup of let's say 2,000 rupees or 1,700 rupees. Now the least price becomes 2,000 rupees. So on that now there is a winter discount, seasonal discount, right? Seasonal discount of 10%. So this becomes $200. Not $200, 200 rupees. So they bought a item at 300 rupees, clothes, let's say bulk clothes or winter jackets, they bought at 300 rupees. On each of them, they put a markup of 1700, right, for a particular product. So least price which is showing in a price tag in a e-commerce site or a Pantaloon, 2,000 rupees it is showing. And on that, they'll start creating promotions. Winter end sale, 20% discount. So this becomes 400, right? That is a seasonal discount. On that, let's say certain promo offer, right? uh, Republic Day has come, so we'll give additional 10% discount, right? So that all these whatever we are reducing, like that becomes markdown, right? What we just discussed, right? So 3,000 rupees on that total we are giving 20 or 30% discount. So this becomes your markdown price. So this is 2,000 rupees. On that I am giving 400 rupees seasonal discount, 200 rupees Republic Day offer. So this 600 becomes my markdown. So basically, I'm selling it at the sale price of how much? 2,000 minus 600 is 1,400 rupees. On 1,400, I have to find out what are my variable costs. So I'm storing in that electricity, whatever people in that retail store, those employees, their cost, transportation, logistics, all those costs, variable. Fixed cost is whatever the rent, if it is a rental or even it is mine. So there is a certain fixed cost for that building, right? Certain fixed cost associated with all the equipment, all the furnitures, everything which is inside the store. So how much variable cost and fixed cost, right? So that is basically very percentage, 5% or 10%, right? So let's say this is 10% and this is 5%, or overall both combined is 20%, right? So if I'm selling at 1,400 rupees, out of that 20% will go, right? How much? 280 rupees will go to 1220 or 1120 is my kind of final price at what I'm selling. So I bought an item at 300 rupees. I'm selling it. Well, after my I'm selling is actually 1,400. On this, I'm deducting my cost of goods sold. So I'm getting a profit of 1120 minus 300, 820, right? So this is where their profit margin, right? This is where they make money, right? for a kind of a customer, what we are looking into only to these numbers. How much kind of discount I'm getting. We never know this markup, right? Obviously, if you join a company, if you're working in that area only, you'll come to know how much markup happens. Or if you have your own business, how much generally. And sometimes in clothing, it surprisingly it becomes 5 to 6 times. Like I said, some items they just kind of get at 300 or 400 rupees and they sell it at 2000 rupees, right? But again, the intention is not to discuss on that term. Remember the kind of definitions. What is a markup and what is a markdown? Markup is the price which you inflate, which will increase to give a list price, right? Which is actually put on those labels, right? And everything matters, right? uh, the number what goes in a label, once it has gone you cannot change. If by mistake you have put certain small number, again you have to print, right? So as a retail manager you have to take a lot of decisions from both from sales and marketing side and from the operational side also, right? What label price or what list price it goes, right? And any questions on this? So then kind of how do you like basically, because it is difficult to manage manually. Okay, 10% discount, like I said, prescriptive analytics, right? Whether I should give a 5% or 10% or buy one get one free, or buy one then your 50% discount on the second purchase, or if you purchase above 500 will give a coupon, if you purchase above 2000 will give you some lucky draw, right? There are different promotional setups, right? So what you basically do, unless there is a new promotion based on the past promotions, right? Create a pool of individual promotions, whatever 10 or 20 or 15 different type of promotions. You create a pool, compose promotional campaigns. Basically, for each of them, you should have certain kind of flyers, or maybe if it is through website, different kind of designs has to happen, right? Then forecast the performance of individual promotional campaigns based on the demand, profit, and revenue prediction models. So for that, obviously, you need past data, right? If you do not have data, obviously you cannot predict. So this is only true if you have run that promotions in last 2 or 3 years or 5 years and you have the data, right? Automatically find the optimal offer combination. So that's why I'm telling it is not possible manually. Okay, if I do this for a small store, yes, they don't get into a algorithm and they don't look into okay which offers I should go. Whoever is the owner, they'll say okay, we'll give 5% discount, 10% discount for the next 1 month or next 3 days or next 5 days. But if it is a big store where you have so many SKUs, so many products, so many brands, right? So you have to carry out all those calculations automatically through your algorithm. Detect unharvested profits and capture them wherever you think that. So the point is, I should not lose any price, right? So my markdown prices or offer prices, whatever I'm providing, that should be optimal. So if I can know that, if I can entice, if I can bring the customers back with 10% discount, why should I give a 20% discount, right? So that is my main motive as a retail manager. Obtain the best promotional campaign combination, right? So what kind of input you require? What kind of data input you require? Catalog attribute of the product. So that is what will mostly it will come from the SKU data, that number which is printed on the SKU, and that is where the importance comes. If you have not encoded those kind of information, you will not able to run a promotional campaigns. Your whole promotional campaign depends upon how kind of intelligently you have put those details in your SKU number. Calendar attributes and events, when you are going to launch your campaign before Republic Day, then how many days before Republic Day? Because customers will take time to understand that okay, this campaign is going on. So where you will promote, Instagram, Facebook, all those information will be available to us. Then obviously the price and promotion related information, list prices, promotional prices, what minimum you cannot go below, right? What other combination should not happen, right? Shopping cart statistics, right? So basically again, like it is not kind of for a offline retail, in online retail, right? Certain customers, let's say there is a prime customer, a certain customer who has been a loyal customer, right? So you will see that each of you, though whether you are prime or whether you are non-prime customers, you will actually get different type of promotions, not necessarily always get same promotions or same pricing, right? If you change your like kind of in the same computer you are logging into a VPN, you will get a different prices in the same platforms, right? So a lot of kind of backend work happens, right? So as a manager, retail manager, you should be in a position, click on the promotional campaign name and try to understand what is the forecast of profit or forecast of revenue, right? Because manually you cannot do it. If you have that kind of algorithm integrated to your sales store management system or ERP, so let's say I have these kind of offers, buy one get one free this kind of whatever that brand name, then 10% off last week, 10% off in the first week of the month, 10% off in the last week, anytime 10%. So that I have different offers, right? And based on the past 3 years or 5 years data, I should be able to forecast this kind of what will be my revenue, what will be my profit, all those kind of information I should be able to predict, right? Obviously, in the backend, you should have this kind of model training, feature engineering, which is basically getting those input variables, what we discussed in the previous slide. What kind of input data you require? Feature means that input data, right? Independent variables, right? What kind of features you require for your data analysis? Price point, promotion point, then your customer data, then your SKU information, then your supplier data, all those information you require. So that's about it. And any questions or any doubts? Okay. So if there are no questions, I'll stop here. I'll share the slide again. Repeating, please be prepared for your quiz and your presentation in the next class. Yes,
So will
Chirag.
you share the recordings?
Recordings. I had shared, I guess. Okay, last two classes. Yeah, I'll share. Yes, Chirag. Your role attendance.
Yes, sir. 310.
310. Okay. Anyone else?
Sir, 242. Sir, 242.
242. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Chalo. Take care.